Perfect. Right, Donna's having a problem because she's come back in again. You should be able to see my screen. Just going to move you all over there so it doesn't get in the way of my screen. Perfect. So welcome to the Joan Goulding sleep talk method, and this is Joan, and this is the lady that first developed it over 50 years ago in 1970. And I am beyond excited to share it with you and to share this method with my families. There are now over 120 consultants all over the world, and I am now one of them. So the Goulding method activates neuroplasticity. Let me mix some more people. And what that is, more people coming in. Make sure you mute when you come in, please, so it doesn't interfere with the presentation. Thank you. So the Goulding method activates neuroplasticity, and that's what this picture is here. It's the brain making connections and disconnections. And that's what we're going to be learning about. If you want to read more about neuroplasticity, this is a good book by Norman Deutsch, The Brain That Changes Itself. He is altering the way we look at brains and the human potential. I mean, if you read his book, some of the work that he has done has been amazing. Just see. People want to come in. He's helped stroke patients. He's helped them learn to speak again when they haven't been able to speak after having a stroke. He also helped a woman who was born with half of a brain, and he got her to rewire that brain so it could work as a full brain. So amazing. So during this method, a child's mind corrects itself, which in turn will help your child's brain learn to be calmer and more confident. And so the research, when I was doing the training, was showing that families were seeing a 60 to 80% difference in their child.
This is not playing nicey anymore. I'm here for my daughter.
Could you mute for me, please? Thank you. Oh, press the wrong thing there. Let me just go back. So 60 to 80% of a child, they've seen difference in loads of areas. And so my goal is to educate more parents to be more aware of the messages that they're giving to their children. Because the Goulding method is about giving them positive messages. So how many of you have said or noticed something like, my child always says, I can't do it, or they worry about joining in at football club or at swimming club? Their thoughts can go really crazy. They might be thinking, I won't be any good, or Billy will be better than me. Have you noticed about separation anxiety? With separation anxiety, is it worse for your child? I'm having a trouble with these participants. Hold on a minute. Some of them can't join for some reason. Keep going off and on again. So have you noticed separation anxiety at bedtime or dropping them off at school? Are they having big meltdowns? These thoughts children have don't have to be true for it to be the reality. You know, your child believes it, so it becomes their reality. And the reason for that is because the conscious critical analysis in their brain is not yet formed. It's not formed till they're about 7 or 8. So the brain has a tendency to accept imagination as their reality. So you think of all those thoughts that your child might be having, that Billy's better than them, they can't do the drawing, that then becomes their reality. And I often say to parents, children can get something called time blindness. And that's where they feel they're always going to be like that for the rest of their life. They don't realise that they're going to progress. So does your child have lots of meltdowns, defiance, mood swings during the day? Do you feel like you're walking on eggshells around them? The most likely culprit is underlying faulty beliefs that are in their subconscious mind. And that's what we're going to be looking at when we do this method, their subconscious mind. So who remembers the saying? There's a famous saying that says, sticks and stones will break our bones, but words can't hurt us. Now, with neuroscience, we know how wrong that rhyme is, or this saying. Words can stay with us and they can create negative feelings and thoughts in our mind. And that's what the Goulding method is about, those negative thoughts. So what will we cover tonight? A little about me, for the people that don't know me, what sleep talk is and what it is not, why you should choose the method and who it is for and their ages. I've got 2 case studies to share with you, the before and after when we started the sleep talk, and a few other testimonials. What's included at the end, I will share what's included in my Calmer Children, Happier Homes workshop. And I have a brilliant special early bird offer. And for everybody that signed up, you will get a free booklet on positive phrases to use during the day to help your children. So we'll start with a little about me. So how I became an expert, my why, or why you should choose me. So I'm the founder of Little Life Steps, and I've been my business for 6 years now. I'm often known as the Wee and Pooh lady, got my Wee and Pooh here, or Super Sue. Lots of my parents have named me Super Sue. I've been an NNEB nursery nurse for 38 years, and I started off working in many nursery establishments. More people coming. I'm not seeing them tonight. No. 2 seconds. So yeah, I started off working in nursery establishments, and then I was a manager of a nursery, and I wrote lots of Ofsted policies. Then I left. Please mute if you've just joined us. Thank you. Then I joined the NHS, and I worked with the NHS for 14 years. 9 years with the school health team, 6 years with the health visiting team. And I did one-to-ones and group sessions, working with parents with behaviour, sleep, fussy eating, toileting, all the things that I help parents with now. I've combined all of my training in bowel and bladder health, meal pond sleep, triple P behaviour, to build workshops and work one-on-one with families. This is me with all my books. I love reading. And I also love eating nuts. Once I start eating nuts, I can't stop. This is Mr. Little Life Steps. That's my partner. So he helps me with a lot of the technical side of running a business. He will pop up later with a little link for you in the chat. And this is us at a festival, because I love to go to festivals. So was us at Glastonbury, and sadly we didn't get tickets this year. We tried on Sunday and we weren't successful. I have two daughters, Louise and Leanne. This is when they were small, and this is them now as adults, 31 and 34. And they're very, very different. And one of the reasons why I do what I do now is because my eldest child, I didn't get the support I needed when she was little. I was referred to a family consultation service, and I was made to feel like it was my fault and it was my parenting. So my youngest child was very, very easygoing. She would fall asleep at the drop of a hat. She would entertain herself. But Louise was very different. She was adventurous, full of energy, bull in a china shop. If you took her anywhere, she was always the child that would be getting into something. She actually found a Sudocrem pot and put cream all over one of my friend's curtains when we were in the kitchen. And it was always her that did the things. She liked to take risks. She was passionate and she was a perfectionist. But back then, I didn't have the training I have now. And so I reacted with consequences. I reacted with sternness, trying to teach her. And this just created distance, mistrust, and it made her push the limits further and made her more defiant. So if I'd have involved her more back then and we'd done problem solving, we'd worked as a team, the resistance would have lessened. She was also bullied at school, and so that is very close to my heart, and that's why I include it in my school readiness course. So if you purchase my workshop or any of my courses, you are buying the Sue Welby experience, as no one else has the same experience, training and knowledge as me. So that's a little bit about me. Now we go on to the sleep talk. So sleep talk, what is it? So it involves talking to your child during a specific stage of their sleep cycle that research has identified as being the optimal state for subconscious learning. So on my workshop, you will learn when to talk to them. It helps children to develop a positive and confident sense of themselves and to develop greater emotional resilience. The child feels less anxious and better able to deal with their world. Now, it's a method for communicating positive messages, always to the subconscious mind. They can't answer back sleep. During the day, they can. But did you know that when your child sleeps, they can still hear you? Now, we know this from people that have been operated on. So under deep anaesthetic, they remember things that have been said by the surgeons. So we know that children can hear us while they are sleeping. Now, as I said, the Goulding process was developed by Joan in Australia 50 years ago. And she did it for her daughter's needs first. And today it's endorsed by medical practitioners. And it's used worldwide. And I feel that this new approach is needed now in our world, because since COVID, we have more children with anxiety, more children with sleep issues, fears, phobias, causing them to act out in challenging ways. So I want you to think of your child's mind as their computer. It can help children to unlearn the ways they have learnt to be anxious or angry. Now, the method talks to that child's unconscious mind, which is a fascinating computer. The Goulding method frees a child from that cycle of negative beliefs, feelings, and thoughts. And we're going to implant empowering ideas that can anchor your child and make them calmer and happier. Now, once those negative thoughts lessen, your child's true self and potential can really blossom. And some of the testimonials I'll be talking about later will show this. So it can establish an inner peace that gives rise to that positive change. Now, give me a yes in the comments if that's what you'd love for your child, to have that inner peace. I know that when Louise was little, and Leanne, I would have loved for them to have that inner peace and just be calmer within themselves, not have all those thoughts and worries about will they fit in, will they be liked. Children can have millions of thoughts in their heads every day, just like us. So what is sleep talk not? So this week, I have had lots of texts from parents to invite them along to this Zoom. And lots of them, when I've explained it's called the Goulding Method Sleep Talk, they've said to me, thank you anyway, but my child sleeps. So it doesn't just help with sleep. It has helped with sleep. There's that knock-on effect that when a child feels safe and calmer, they then won't need their parents in the room with them, or they won't need to walk in and get in bed with their parents because they feel safe and calm. But also, as a little joke here, this method is not a method to practice on our husbands. Sorry for the dads, if there are dads listening. So we don't want to be practicing it on our husbands whilst they sleep. Now, I thought this before I did the training. I thought, oh, I could talk to my husband while he's sleeping. So I could actually say, tomorrow you would like to cut the grass. And then hopefully in the morning he'll wake up and think, oh, I've got the urge to cut the grass. Or he could say, I could say to him, you would love to do the ironing. And he might wake up the next morning and want to do the ironing. But adults' brains have already made loads of connections already. But we're not going to be using this on our husbands. But as I said in the beginning, Norman Deutsch, we're always learning about the changing brain. And they're having amazing results with adults as well. But we're not going to be teaching our husbands while they sleep. But when parents do use this method, because it's taught that mums and dads do it, it can help with parents' subconscious mind as well, because your mind is listening as you're saying those sentences. So it's a no-brainer because parents are calmer too. And the testimonials have shown us this, that it has that knock-on effect with parents. It's also not a method where we're going to change our children by coming in with negative suggestions, like you must stop hitting. They're always positive suggestions, loving suggestions. And if you purchase my workshop at the end, you will get the script that we use to say that has been tested by practitioners, by experts. This is the script that works. So what we do is we create a firm foundation first, and core beliefs in a child's subconscious mind of feeling loved. So what ages can it be used for? So on my training, it was said that we can use this from pregnancy up to teenage years. They say up to age 16. But as children get older, it can take longer because they've made more connections in their brain. They've developed more memories, they've developed more feelings and more thoughts. Here's a little fact for you about new babies. So in their first year of life, the average brain weighs about 400 grams at birth. By the age of 12 months, it weighs 1,000 grams. So that brain is doing so much growth in the first year. And also our children are so dependent on us for everything, but they're dependent on us for love. And there's large areas in their brain that they don't even begin to develop until after they're born. And so the neurons in their prefrontal cortex, which is right at the front here, if you've done my behavior course, I talk about this, it's responsible for emotions and those vital connections in the first 2 years of life. You, the parents, are literally molding your baby's brains. So fantastic if you can talk to them, talk to their subconscious mind and be making those connections. Because lots of things can go wrong with children, babies and children. They can get illnesses, they can end up in hospital, they can have birth trauma, there could be stress in the household, there could be a bereavement in the household. And then their brain's emotion and immune system gets affected, and then it doesn't work as well. And that's when you start to see those behaviors that you might see. So the human brain is wired for connection. But what happens with trauma is it rewires the brain for protection. So when your child is acting a certain way, their brain is saying, I don't feel safe. So they act a certain way to protect themselves. So that trapped trauma can become stored in the brain or the body, and it acts as their survival mechanism. And that's why sometimes parents will say it's tantrum after tantrum, that they're having an awful few weeks with a child. And early stress is associated with alterations in another part of the prefrontal cortex. It's called the orbital frontal cortex, and that's responsible for decision making. So children find it hard to make decisions because of that. So why learn this method? This method is proven. It's been proven over those 50 years, and the results that parents are getting just show how incredible it can be to change children's and families' lives. And the gift lasts for life because you're making those connections in the brain. So I like to say that Sleep Talk is about giving emotional hugs to our children whilst they sleep, not just physical hugs. So I'm asked if it's for all children, or is it just for children that are showing lots of challenging behaviours or autism and ADHD? Because parents will say to me, my child doesn't have any problems. But it's for all children, because lots of children don't share with us what's in their minds. They have thoughts. Sometimes they can't explain their thoughts, but sometimes they just don't want to share them because they don't want to upset you or they want to please you. Did you share your thoughts with your parents when you were growing up? Probably not. So, it can help all children, not just ones showing challenging behaviours. So here's some testimonials. This is just a snapshot of some from the Goulding consultant website. So I've taken a few different ones. So we've got bedwetting. So after a few weeks of the foundation process, so that's the first stage where we give them the sentences, the positive sentences, the bedwetting was left. After 3 months, of the Goulding method, every night she was dry at night and during the day. Her ability to speak and count was improving a lot. She was more calm, more relaxed, and just improving as a person. Even the school teacher mentioned the improvements. Now, as you can see, there was lots of things happening. It wasn't just helping with the bedwetting. Her ability to concentrate, her ability to learn was increasing. She was more relaxed and calmer, and other people around were noticing. This testimonial is about poo phobias. Within a week of using the process, Charlie was letting go and having a bowel movement. He's now going on the toilet himself, does it all alone, and no longer scared at all. He uses public toilets, school toilets without any fear. How amazing. So if you've got a child, I mean, I work with families on toileting all the time. If you've got a child that is really struggling with pooing, and you've tried lots of things, if you know, just talking to your child after they've gone to sleep at a certain brainwave frequency for 2 minutes, it's all it takes, 2 minutes a night. After a week, to see this response, the mum and dad were amazed. Bullying, as I said, this one's close to my heart. His confidence soared, and most importantly, the bullying has completely stopped. The family as a whole are more united. This is the best result we could have hoped for. The process has even helped my husband and I to work as a team with our son. There's more communication, understanding, and general harmony in the family. Now, how amazing is that? And I would say a lot of that was probably down to the increase in confidence of a child, because sometimes with bullying, children haven't got confidence. This one's for anger, aggression, and sleep. So mum said they had a very positive result. Child's sleep improved by 90%, and so did her ability to remain calm and deal with anger. She's now affectionate with all family members, including her sister, who previously was scratched and bitten by her daily. Huge changes then in the child's anger decreasing. So if you look on the Goulding Consultant website, at the bottom, they've got all these different areas for more testimonials. So you've got ADHD, adoption, anxiety, Asperger's, asthma, you know, even children that have got, you know, asthma can be stress related. And so, you know, they've had children that stop having medication because the asthma goes away because the anxiety decreases. So this is just a little snapshot. There are lots more for you to look at. They do say that the most important areas that Sleep Talk can help with are stress and anxiety, trauma, sibling rivalry, which is normally huge, and separation anxiety. So we'll move on to my 2 case studies that I used for my training. So my case study 1. So this was a little boy who was 3 years, 7 months, and he had a sister who was 14 months. So before Sleep Talk, the presenting issues were the little boy had huge energy first thing in the morning. He was an early riser, about 3:30 in the morning. He used to jump up and be full of energy the moment his eyes were open. He had a habit of picking his skin. And as you can see here from the picture, this picture mum sent me, he's done lots of picking. He's actually had scabs, and he's picked scabs off, and he's got holes in his faces where the scabs have been so deep. Lots of anger towards his sister. He used to do biting when things didn't go his way. He had intense meltdowns that would last a long time. He struggled with wet foods and meal times. He had a fear of having his hair cut. They could not have his hair cut. He used to have complete meltdowns. His mornings were a big struggle. He used to complain of stomach aches before going to nursery. He had boundary difficulties. Whenever parents tried to stick to a boundary, there would be huge meltdowns. Play dates were challenging, and he struggled with transitions, moving from one thing to the next at nursery or home. And so that was before with this little boy. And after 6 weeks of doing the 2-minute talking to him while he's asleep, his skin picking stopped completely. So this is his face now, healed up. Mum said when he watches the telly now, he looks relaxed and calm. And that's when he used to do it, before he used to pick his face. Mum stated his energy is more controlled. When he wakes up in the morning, he's happy to get in bed with her and have a snuggle. He doesn't have that, I need to be doing something constantly. He's calmer, more affectionate. He now sleeps till 6 of a morning. The meltdowns have reduced in intensity and duration. The meltdowns used to be about half an hour, but they've now reduced to about 5 minutes. So he still does have some meltdowns. He can handle play dates better. He's even stopped himself biting. And what I mean by that is his brain had that as a habit or a default when he was angry about something. Mum said she physically sees him go to bite and then he stops himself. So his brain is telling him something different. So there hasn't been the biting. He's more patient and he's happier. Grandparents noted that his engagement when he plays has just increased immensely. They've said that on one occasion he played for an hour and a half with the same set of toys. And his imagination and creativity has just increased enormously as well. And it was Nan and Grandad that look after him that had noticed. He also went and managed to have a haircut. There was no meltdown during the haircut. Mum did mention later on in the day he did have a meltdown, and I said that could be that it was still stored there, but he was brave enough and had the confidence to do the haircut. There still are some sensory sensitivities around eating, but the parents are continuing with the method. But as you can see, a huge difference from how we started. So that was my case study 1. Case study 2. So this is for a 4 years, 3-month-old boy, and he had an 18-month-old brother. So at the start, Mum was very, very frustrated and the little boy was angry. So I'll give a little bit of a history to the family. So my mum has got FND, which stands for Functional Neurological Disorder. And she has seizures which can be triggered by her child's behaviour or by her child crying. So they do have those added stresses within their household. So the presenting issues at the beginning, lots of anger and aggression towards his younger brother and towards Mum. He would also use very upsetting and unkind words at times, which Mum found hard to hear. So sometimes he might say things like, "I want to die." He had an irrational fear of buttons. He chewed his nails. He disliked public toilets, found any chewing really difficult. Somebody mute, please. Is it Jen? Could you mute, please, Jen? Thank you. He found queuing really hard and waiting his turn. He had frequent intense meltdowns. He also woke frequently to see if his dad was nearby, as his dad slept on a mattress in his room due to mum sleeping with the younger child due to her disorder, because if the child got upset. So that was all before. And then after. So I've got some pictures here of the children, because the biggest improvement for this family is with sibling rivalry. They are playing together and not being triggered. The older boy before, if mum was cuddling his brother, he would be getting upset. But now he's happy. You know, he wants to join in with his brother. You can see from this picture here just melts my heart, because he looks so happy. And mum said he was teaching the younger brother yoga the other day. So the sibling rivalry and being a calmer household because of that has been amazing. And this is mum's actual testimonial that she wrote for me. It's on Trustpilot. I won't read it all out for you. You can go and have a look at it on Trustpilot. But I love the comment that she says at the bottom, when she says, when he's fast asleep and we tell him these beautiful things, it can reset any bad vibes the day has brought upon us. And I think that's amazing. Yeah, it's helping mum as well to reset at the end of the day. So also public toilets, he will go in them now without a fuss. He's just calmer overall. He no longer chews his nails. He's just more cooperative with mum. He accepts some directions without arguing. You know, we don't want children to just always do. We like children to sometimes have that little bit of a discussion with us. He expresses more love by hugging. And this child as well has started to say some of the suggestions in the day. So that proves to us that he is actually hearing them during the night. His fear of buttons is less intense. He still doesn't like buttons, but he doesn't have those meltdowns over them now. And his learning at school is absolutely brilliant. And mum has stated his confidence has grown. So yeah, if you go on Trustpilot, you'll be able to read the full review. Or if you rewatch this, then I would say read this. So you might be thinking, well, what if I've got more than one child? What do I do? So if you work with me, we work with one child first. We fill in a mind profile and work with one child. And then you learn the foundation suggestions, the actual script. And then after a couple of weeks, you can start to use it with the other child. So that is always advised. So there was another lady on my training, and she had a little girl that was 15 months as her case study, and she used to headbang. And she had gone to pediatricians, GPs. It was very intense. It was every day, and it used to continue for a long time. And now she has completely stopped from doing the sleep talk method. So my next slide is a little video of these two little boys playing. Now, if you think what this little boy was like before, he would be triggered. If his brother come near him, there would be lots of pushing. But because he feels good on the inside now from these loving suggestions, it shows on the outside. So it's a very short video. I'm just going to play it. And while I'm playing it, I'm going to have a drink of water. Otherwise, I end up losing my voice. So as you can see, what a difference. There was no trigger within the elder boy's brain. There was no pushing away. I mean, his brother was touching the keyboard. He wasn't fazed by it. And how lovely is that, to have calmer children, which leads to happier homes. And that's why I've called my workshop Calmer Children and Happier Homes. So I'm going to tell you about this. So what do you get if you work with me and you purchase this workshop? So you get 1 hour one-to-one session with me to complete a mind profile. And this is so we can draw out your child's individual needs. That will be sent to you once you book it, once you book the one-to-one session with me. Then we will have a group Zoom session, and I've got the 6th of December booked out on Zoom to learn the foundation suggestions, phase 1 of the method. Then you will get WhatsApp support for 8 weeks, which will take us up to the end of January 2024. And I will share phase 2 as and when required for each family over voice notes on WhatsApp or over email. And I will share resources, PDFs and videos, including a signs of feedback form looking at the 4 areas: social, mood states, family and nursery and school. So that's all what you will learn there, but you will also get the group session where you will learn how the top hat theory works. This is how the conscious and the unconscious mind work. You will learn about the RAS, which is the reticular activating system, and that is where our a little antenna so it gets to the child's computer. So that's us going and talking at the right brainwave frequency to a child. It's very simple and it's very effective. How to prepare for sleep talk, the 3 important C's to complete for the method, and then the actual method. And then we'll talk a little bit about phase 2. So that's phase 1 and 2. But if parents want to add on phase 3, they can add it on for an additional cost. And this will include another mind profile one-to-one and specific statements for your child's area of need, because that's where we delve in a bit further. If a child's still having some problems that we need to be looking at. So the RAS, which I talked about, the reticular activating system, make sure that your child's brain doesn't have to deal with more information than it can handle. So it's pretty clever. So you might be thinking, how much does this cost? So my group workshop and the one-to-one covering phase 1 and 2 and the 8 weeks of support cost £270. If you want to add on phase 3, it's an extra 150, and that's another one-to-one session with that specific statement created for your child. You also get a free PDF if you add on to phase 3, and it's 12 ways to rock your family meetings, because I'm all about getting children involved in family meetings. But as I said right at the beginning, I have got a special early discount for the first 10 families that want to sign up to my course. So early bird discounts, you get a third off of the courses. So a third off would take this one down to 180. And this one we would go down to 300. Now you can have an option of paying in 3 payments. When you go to my website, you just click on the link that says 3 payments. And so you'll get 1 payment taken out in November, 1 in December, and 1 in January. So if it went down to 180, we then just add on a little bit more for the 3 payments. I think it's £12 extra, £4 extra a month. So you'd pay 64 a month for 3 months. My Little Life Steps husband will pop the link in the chat. Hopefully he will do that, and hopefully he hasn't fallen asleep wherever he is. And so you could click the link now and go straight to my website, and you can purchase it. You have until the 4th of December to purchase it, and then I'll be closing enrolment for the rest of this year. And then I will do another session again next year. So these are the codes. It does tell you on my website. So you put the code in Karma for phase 1 and 2, and you'll get a third off. If you put the code in Karma Plus, you'll get the money off of the phase 3. So I hope that makes sense. So this is for you if you're committed, because we do need to be committed. We do need to give those 2 minutes every night. But, you know, if you're ready to reprogram your child's mind with those loving suggestions and see the magic that can unfold for your family, like my case studies and like those other testimonials on the website, you know, who's in? I'd love for you to put in the comments if you're thinking, yes, I'm in. This is what I want for my family. I'd love to support you. If you're still unsure, then please check out the other testimonials or check out my reviews on my website from real families that I've worked with. I'm all about helping children reduce that anxiety, and I want to reduce it long term. And what better way than through this method that we're going to be making those brain connections. You know, those child's subconscious mind is controlling how they think, how they feel, and how they behave. So if we give those loving suggestions, it can make that difference. I love this quote. It's not what we leave to our children that matters. It's what we leave within their minds. Unconditional love. Close your eyes. Just imagine having a simple 2-minute method you can use each night to help have a calmer and happier home. Now, as I said, if you've signed up, you get a freebie from me for coming along. And this freebie can help reduce challenging behaviours in the day. So it's a PDF of positive phrases to help children. So I've got 5 phrases in each of the areas: sleep, toileting, eating, and starting school. I'll pop it in your email tomorrow, but all you do is you go to the link. If you put the word positive in, you'll get it free because it's on my website as a paid booklet at the moment. It's also got 5 little ideas for characters, familiar characters that can help children understand that it's normal to have needs like eating, sleeping, and rest. So one example is you'd say to your child something like, it's just like a robot needs oil to move his body. Jack needs food to power his wiggles and giggles. And so sometimes we're working with a child's imagination there. And so if you've got a child that is reluctant to eat at dinner time, that one saying about the robot needing oil can just help them. So there's 5 phrases that can help you. So yeah, who's ready for the excitement of building, you know, space for your family where you can have more calmness, more confidence, and that unconditional love? Add it into your pillars of parenting. That's what I want to do. So over to you for any questions. And I'm going to look to see if there's any questions.
Hi Sue, it's Roxanne.
Roxanne, hello Roxanne.
Hi, you okay?
Yes,
I'm just unsure, and I think another lady's unsure on the difference between the phase 1 and 2 package and the phase 1, 2 and 3.
Okay.
And what we would need.
Yes. So phase 1 and 2, you get the suggestions, and you also get, after, depending on how your child responds, you then get another sentence that is added.
Okay.
Phase 3 is where we look at any problems that are remaining. And that's when we would choose a specific sentence and we build it into like a sandwich. So I would say, if you've got some big problems within your family, lots of mixture of problems, such as sleep, behaviour, some of those fears that I've mentioned with my case studies, then I would say phase 3 would be really good as well. But not all children need phase 3. You can still get results from just phase 1 and 2. But some people love it that they've got me for longer, because obviously with phase 3, you have me for 12 weeks. Phase 1 and 2, you get 8 weeks of support. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah, that makes it a lot clearer. Thank you. Also, if you wanted to do it for 2 children, do you need to buy the package twice, or once you've learnt it once, you then are able to do it on a second child?
Yeah, as I said, you can do it on the other child. It's just you won't have a mind profile done on the other child where we're looking at their particular needs. So I always say, pick the child that you want to make the most changes with, or you've got the most worries with, and then do it with the other sibling 2 weeks, you know, after 2 weeks, see what happens. You can always have a session with me if you want to know, you know, go in a bit further with the second child. But no, just buy the one and focus on the one child. And then you can use with all siblings, because, you know, my families have done that. And the case studies show.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Thanks, Sue.
I'm just seeing if there's any more questions here. Sounds amazing. I'll follow the link. Both boys, please. Yeah. People asking for the link. Oh, my husband was there. He has put the link. Danny is watching with me. He's wondering if you can use it on me. Yeah. So there we go. We've got Dad's. Lots of people saying they've got to leave. They're going to catch up. Lots of yeses. Can't see any more questions. Just the confusion. So anyone's got any questions after, I do have my Calendly where you can book a 15-minute free call with me. If you want to book there and jump on a free call if you've got any questions about it. But yeah, I can't wait to start sharing this with more families. And we had 63 signed up, and there's probably about 12, I would say, 12, 15 that have come along. So the recording will be going out to the parents. So if you want to do it and you want to get that discount, I would jump on it. So if there's no more questions, it was an hour, so that was good. Then I'll leave you. Thank you so much, really helped. No worries, Steph. I'll leave you to the rest of your evening, and thank you for coming along.